Hello everyone and welcome back to our YouTube channel, The Quality Analyst. Now today's session is one of the most important sessions in Selenium. So I want you to listen to this very carefully. Selenium automation starts and ends with finding elements. You can know Java perfectly. You can know TestNG, Maven, frameworks, reports, everything. But if you cannot correctly find elements on a web page, your automation script is completely useless. So today's topic is on these element finding methods, and we are going to focus on exactly two methods, the findElement and findElements method. So these two methods are the heart of Selenium WebDriver. Every click, every sendKeys, every validation, every assertion, all of them depend on these two methods. Okay, so let's start with the most commonly used method, that is findElement. The purpose of findElement is very simple. It finds one matching element on the web page. So let me go inside this particular class. Okay, I will use another URL here. Okay, let's change this URL. Okay, so now we have this login page navigation. Okay, let's consider if you want to locate this username. What you will do, you will inspect this element and then you will simply write the XPath, right? Or maybe based on the other attributes, if they are, you can simply use those, right? So as we can see, there is a ID available for this particular element. You can simply use that ID, and then let's find out the driver dot find element, and then I will simply use by.id, and then I will pass that particular ID here. Let's import this by. Okay, and then just we can simply use sendKeys, and then let's pass admin, right? So what you are doing here is you are telling Selenium, go to the page, search the DOM and find the element that matches this locator and return it to me. Okay, and once you are returning it to me, you are sending these keys, sending this value to the particular element, right? So findElement will always return a single element, right? Okay, so let's try to run it and then see whether it correctly passing the value to the particular element or not. You see, it has correctly passed the value to the username field. Okay, now let me close this. Okay, and then now if you see here, okay, let's try to find out it. Username, Control F, and then username. You see only one occurrence is there. What if there are multiple occurrences and if you want to use findElement? Okay, so if there are multiple elements matches on the page, in that case also Selenium will return only the first one it finds. Okay, so let's consider the input one, right? So if you use input XPath here, you see there are two occurrences. Okay, now it has two occurrences. Now let's use this here. Okay, I will simply comment this out, and then we'll use driver dot find element by dot XPath this time because we are using XPath, right? And then now I will again sendKeys and we will use admin. Okay, so if I run this, it will still pass the parameters, pass the value to the username field because it is first in this page, right? That's why it will pass it to the username field only. So let's see how it goes. You see it is passing to the username. But what if you want to pass to the second input field here, password? So in that case you should have a unique XPath, unique locator, okay, so that it will pass your value to the particular input field you are looking, right? So even if you are using find element on multiple matches, it will only locate the first match. Okay, now let's consider if what if the element does not exist. Okay, so again I will simply comment this out and I will just copy this code. Okay, now let's change it. Okay, just add the invalid id here and now just try to run it. So in such case Selenium will immediately throw no such element exception. Okay, it does not return any null value, it does not wait, it does not continue. Okay, it will fail immediately. The page is loaded. Okay, and now the test has failed. You see the exit code is 1, and then if you go up you will see the error no such element exception, right? You see Selenium dot no such element exception, unable to find the exact match for CDP version. Okay, that is fine, but yeah, this is the actual error which we are looking for, no such element. Okay, so why this happens? Because when you are expecting one specific element like login button, username field, submit button, if Selenium cannot find it, you want the test to fail, right? So find element is best used when element is mandatory, element must be present, only one such element should exist, right? So this is why you will see find element everywhere in your automation scripts, right? Now let's talk about find elements. So this method is slightly different but extremely powerful. So find elements does not return a single element, it returns a list of web element. So that means 0 element, 1 element or many elements. So all possible outcomes it can return with the help of find elements. So here is one most important difference. Find elements never throws no such element exception. If Selenium does not find anything, it simply returns an empty list. Okay, so this behavior makes find elements very safe. Okay, so now let's talk about practically again with the same example. I will simply comment this out. Okay, and then I will again use the same XPath find element by dot XPath, and then I will pass that input. Okay, and now if you see, if you hover, sorry, I will use find element this time. Okay, and then if you see here, the return type is list of web element. Okay, for find element, if you hover on find element, it will return a web element. Okay, a single web element, right? Now we are using find elements. Now we are looking for a return type as list of web element. Okay, and then I will simply store it in list of, sorry, well, list of web element. Okay, and then I will import this list, then I can store it in elements. Okay, and then you can simply use element.text or something like that. Maybe you can just iterate over this list and then you can find out the element you are looking for, right? But for now it is fine. I will simply print the element size, system dot out dot print line and then elements dot size. Okay, now I will use the same expression here. Okay, just to run it only once. Okay, and then maybe I will just simply use element 1, elements 2, this is 2, then this is 3, and this is 3. Okay, so now what I will do is I will simply pass the incorrect XPath here so that it will not find any element. Okay, and yeah, I think that's it. We only want 2 here. Okay, and then let's see how it goes, like what it will print in size. Okay, let's run it. Okay, it should have printed. Okay, you see, the first thing it has printed 2 because our page has 2 input tags, right? And the second one printed 0 because it is not matching because we have passed the incorrect XPath, right? So why would you use findElements, right? So to find out list of links, to find out list of input fields, find out multiple checkboxes, table rows, pagination numbers, menu items, right? So in such cases, you don't want Selenium to crash just because something is missing. So instead, you want to check the list size, loop through the elements, and apply the conditions, right? So findElements gives you a control to decide what to do next, right? So for example, if the size is 0, element not present. If the size is greater than 0, element exists, right? So this is why findElements is heavily used in robust automation frameworks. So let me explain the difference one more time. So findElement, it returns single web element. If not found, it returns an exception, that is no such element exception, and it is based for mandatory elements. Whereas the findElements returns a list of web element. If not found, it returns empty list, that is 0, which we have like printed here, 0, the size is 0, that is empty list, and it is based for optional or multiple elements, right? So now here is a golden interview line. So and I want you to remember this: findElement fails fast, whereas findElements fails gracefully. Okay, so this is how we use findElement and findElements methods. So if you like the video, subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.